Well, this was informative. This is the last of the run of action movie commissions. I was given kind of a free space to pick the last one myself. There were a few options, but the choice was also impacted by what was easy for me to find streaming. So I ended up going with John Woo's 1992 film Hard Boiled, starring Chow Yun-fat. And this was the last movie that Woo made in Hong Kong before coming over to the US and starting to make movies in Hollywood, starting with Hard Target, going on to Broken Arrow and Face Off and Mission Impossible 2, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I have seen all the things that I've named, not to imply that I've seen Woo's entire filmography, but I have seen all of those movies. And he he really did just kind of become a parody of himself in his Hollywood years, didn't he? Not to say that this doesn't already border on parody, or at least it feels like it does going back and watching it now, because this is a very specific moment and feeling for action movies. And it's one that didn't last long. Actually, I would say this era and this sort of feel of this, slow motion, diving to the side, multiple guns in the air, like that as the predominant face of action, I think kind of died with Mission Impossible 2, which was a movie that performed very well, but pretty much everybody complained about. I think that was kind of the death knell of it as like the hot new action thing, especially because by then The Matrix had happened as well. But yeah, so I did debate for a little bit. Am I going to watch this subtitled or dubbed? I've talked before about how if I feel a dub is good, I will opt for dubbed, partially because if I'm staring at the bottom 2 inches of the screen, I am missing what's going on to a certain extent. I'm missing some of the nuances of performance, something that the camera might pick up that I don't see because I'm busy reading. That having been said, dubs, especially for live action, tend to be pretty bad. It's actually incredibly rare that I'll watch a live action dub. Animated stuff, anime is the big topic on that. Like, I'll pretty readily watch a dub if it's any good. And I was really torn on this one because I don't know if it's a stylistic thing or if like this language is just faster than what I'm used to, but like the lines would be up really briefly. It was really hard for me to finish reading a line before it was gone and replaced by a new one. So I don't know if they just talk particularly fast in this movie or what, but the dub is real bad. it's really bad, which I expected, but dang. I got immediate flashbacks like, that's right. That was what that was like back then. Holy crap. So I did end up watching it subtitled. That having been said, while that was a little bit of a frustration point for me, this is ultimately not a plot-heavy movie. Actually, that's not true. It is a plot-heavy movie, but nobody's here for the plot. So the plot is way more convoluted than it need be, given that the purpose is the ridiculous action scenes. Now, I'm not sure that's necessarily a problem, all things considered, because I feel like it kind of adds to the absurdity that the plot does have way more layers than it needs. But what's the short version of this? Okay, so Chow Yun-fat plays Inspector Tequila. It's a nickname, I'm pretty sure. And he is our skirts the rules, goes rogue, does his own thing, clashes with his superior cop hero for this. And then there's Tony Leung. Apologies if I'm butchering these names. Sorry, but he plays Alung. And he is an undercover cop in with the triads. And so Tequila is like, he's chasing down this gun running ring and doesn't know that there is an undercover cop Im, uh, embedded with them already. So like his boss is telling Tequila to back off, and Tequila doesn't know why. Because his boss won't just tell him there's an undercover cop. You are jeopardizing him. Will you frickin' stop? And so eventually the two do find out about each other and start working together. And then things just continue to escalate from there as we get this sort of internal war among the triads. You have this sort of younger guy taking over and like killing the old guard. So you have a big shootout like at a warehouse on the docks, and then ultimately it's like he's got this like freaking doom bunker of weapons stashed in a secret basement under a hospital. And to give you an idea of the absurdity of this, like, let me put it this way. This movie does something that normally annoys me, but here just the absurdity level of everything was raised so high, I just kind of went with it. Normally heavy civilian casualties done with basically almost no acknowledgement that like a bunch of innocent people just got killed is something that annoys me, especially when like there was a much bigger deal made of cops being killed, but the random civilians, nobody blinks twice. Normally that would really annoy me. And like, it is kind of a propaganda issue, I'm not gonna lie, but at the same time, it didn't annoy me here because this thing is so absurd that when the bad guys just started spraying Uzis among fleeing patients and doctors and a bunch of people in hospital gowns just getting mowed down in the parking lot, I'm sorry, I laughed. Like, to give you an idea of the level of absurdity, and this happens multiple times, where like somebody's on a motorcycle and Tequila shoots, I guess, the bike itself with a shotgun, and it just explodes in this massive fireball. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. And that happens repeatedly. That happens multiple times. And like Woo's signature slow motion, like I think the iconic shot of this is Chow Yun Fat, like sort of sideways splayed on this, like there's like a railing on a stairs and he's kind of leaning on the side of it and sliding down. Dual wielding and shooting the whole way. And it's really funny because his boss is like, you never waste a bullet. I'm like, bitch, I just saw him spray so many shots around. He wasted so many bullets. What are you talking about? It is absolutely absurd. And it was interesting because like I've seen John Woo absurdity. So I guess I kind of for some reason I expected, going back to this, I'm like, oh, this will be like the more artistic, like sort of, the grittier thing before was all polished up by Hollywood, and it's really not. He was just as absurd with this as he would be later on. Actually, arguably more absurd here than he was even when he made Hollywood movies. And that's just kind of fun. It is really kind of his career is really kind of a time capsule of that era of action movie, because like I said, it did very definitively die as we got into the 2000s, because first you had the Matrix happen, and then the Jason Bourne movies, and then we were stuck with rapid cut shaky cam BS in our action movies for a while. But like this stuff, I don't remember seeing any doves in this. If there were, I missed them. So minus the doves, pretty much all John Woo's signatures are all over this thing. Excessive amounts of slow motion, jumping through the air, and the dual wielding, things blowing up that absolutely have no reason to be blowing up. It is absolutely ridiculous, and the performers involved, I don't know. With the language barrier, I'm not sure if everyone's playing it straight or if they know this is ridiculous. It's hard for me to make a call on that. I could if someone were to tell me they played it straight, or if someone were to tell me like everybody knew this was basically a cartoon, I could believe it either way. So I'm not I'm not sure. I suppose if I was to register any actual complaint, the woman character in it is useless. Like they technically have stuff that she does. Like they give her plot functions that could have been done by literally anybody. She is. It's one of those cases where like she is so token. I'd rather you just didn't have her. If I'm being completely honest, but like that's about as much as I've got. I don't want to overpraise this and make it seem like it's like a new peak of cinema, but like if you're into absurd over the and like it gets quite big. You'd think that like when he got to Hollywood, he'd be doing stuff, oh, even bigger and more over the top. It's not really. I think the main difference is it just had big recognizable stars in it. I think that's most of what the money went to when he got to Hollywood was just being able to do it with famous people as opposed to folks who weren't famous outside of Hong Kong cinema. And most of the people in the movie probably weren't famous at all. So yeah, I think the cost of the talent was the main thing that went into the increased budgets he got later. This movie's very much, it is very John Woo. I had fun with this. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. It's kind of stupid. It's very 90s. It is very early 90s. Boy, oh boy, and how. Hard boiled. Have you seen this thing? What'd you think of it? Whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Patreon pays the bills. It's how I was commissioned to watch this, and it's how I'm able to do this as my living, even if you can't help me out that way. Like, share, subscribe. They all help. Don't worry too much about it, though. We take a relaxed attitude around here, so you just come on back next time you need a break. Now to thank my highest supporting patrons. Robin Moore, Jared Boyce, Zubin Lipfula, Auntie Kate 808, Mira G, Angry Casperl, Claire Wright, Dave Hall, Snark Shark, Oliver B, Mystic Shadow, Daphne Matthews, Sean Miller, Welsh Wrestling Geeks, Melissa Pedersen, Becky Sparks, Twilord, Kay Johnston, Tracy Scrabbit, Pau Barabajoggle, Magdalena, Sir Didymus is my favorite, and a couple of additional names I'll have to dub in because I forgot to add them. And here I am with those dubbed names. Thank you to the Demon Bunny, Vin Jost, and Sarvis. I'm a little bit distracted, you might have noticed. Everyone's reintegrated. Don't worry about Navarro. He got rehoused. He's completely happy where he is. But this is the mischief now. And it's a lot.